So I'm back with another review of The Shadow Sister by Lucinda Riley. Oh, I have to hold it up a little higher. The Shadow Sister by Lucinda Riley, and this is the third installment of the Seven Sisters series. And like I said, it's been a very good read. It's been very easy, mostly because the character of Star and Flora, who Lucinda Riley swaps in between with, has been very easy to kind of understand, get along with, and which I found was very difficult with the previous book of the Storm Sister. But like the Shadow Sister says, like the title, it's been kind of coming out of the shadow of another sister into their own being, coming into their own light, and really just taking the reins of their life a little more seriously, because as you grow up, you have to realize that you cannot live a life that others dictate for you. You have to find where you belong, who you are as a person on your own. And this book talks about it quite a bit. Star when you're going through Star's chapters, you can see that she's very internal. She's got a great monologue going on. She's very thoughtful. She's very she's in her own world. She doesn't say much on the outside, so she's like a little bit of an introvert. And this is a kind of character that I think is very similar to Bella from Twilight, who's very quiet on the outside, has very poor people skills, but she's actually very internally, she's alive. She's so much dialogue going on, and she's quite funny as well. So there was a few moments I chuckled out loud, and that's something I saw in Twilight as well. So Flora, who the other character is in the book, is also very thoughtful. She's a very understanding human being. She's very easy to like. Her experiences are very valid. She does a lot of good things for people, and she's quite mistreated. And I think a bit of that happens to Star as well. And one thing I will say, it happens in a lot of people's lives, you get into a dynamic where you are like a middle child, and you're kind of stuck together in a life of the seven sisters, where there's six, well, technically there's only six in the book right now. There's six of them, and she's kind of grouped together, or she's always side by side with her fourth sister, Cece. And because of that, she's constantly letting Cece take the reins of their relationship and make decisions for her, speak for her. And she ends up giving too much of herself to other people because she's got a lack of boundaries. She doesn't know where her boundaries are, so people generally take advantage of that. And I think that happened to Flora as well in this book, which is really sad. My issue is now Star is kind of coming into her own, and she's moved away. She's gone and searched her past and her ancestry, but she's kind of put herself into a situation where she's doing the same thing again. And my issue was when I read it, she just met these people, and they're like, "Can you cook for us? Can you clean the dishes?" Not even "Can you clean?" They just leave the dishes and go. So I'm like, if I were to ever have people into my house as a guest, one, I won't be expecting them to cook for me. Two, I definitely won't be just walking away, going to bed, and expecting my guests to clean the dishes. I think that's really poor upbringing or characteristics. And the thing is, Star she keeps enabling it. She's like, "Yeah, that's fine, that's okay. I don't mind taking care of your kid. I don't mind cleaning your dishes. I don't mind cooking for you and picking up your child at 6 a.m. I won't be doing that." Why? She's got such a lack of boundaries as opposed to the other sisters that I've read, that it's very sad. People are constantly taking advantage of her, and she thinks it's okay because she wants to be needed. She wants to feel like she's useful, but I don't think that's the right way to be needed, because she's come here to find herself, and she found her family. She found a lot more than her family, but it's really sad that she didn't develop a bit of stronger self and boundaries, because that's something as a 27-year-old. Like, she's 27, I'm 30. I think that's a lot more important, having boundaries as you get older. And obviously this is a fictional character, so I am aware of it. I know, but if you're writing a book about like change, I think that would have been a very big character development moment where she's finally able to say, no, I'm not comfortable doing this. I am a guest in your house. Are you able to clean your dishes that are piled up like for days and days? Apparently her sister did it, her family did it, and now her newfound family is doing it. And that's very sad. Overall though, good book. Like, I liked the history of it, where it was going into the monarchy, the British monarchy, and then it's going into the history of like World War II came into it. There's like a time skip from 1909 or 1910 to 1945, so just post World War II. And like I said, interesting book, much better than the second book, a little bit funnier as well. Maybe like a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5, 7 out of 10 is what I'm going to give The Shadow Sister, Lucinda Riley. My next book, obviously, from this series is going to be The Pearl Sister, and it's going to be based on Cece, the fourth sister. So I'll be grabbing that on my next book excursion, hopefully next week, because I've got 2 more books I need to finish. Which brings me to my next book that I'll be reading, and that is, as I said yesterday, is my book club book of Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. And obviously it has an interesting little blurb on the back, which I read yesterday. I'm going to start reading this today. I turned into a very steamy page. Alright, I guess that's what we're reading this week. Thank you. So I thought I'll shoot my TBR as well for the month of September, and while I have like my staples that I need to get, which would be The Pearl Sister by Lucinda Riley, which is the 4th installment of the Seven Sisters series, I also have a few more that I want to get, and this one I've had on my TBR for a while, and this is called Before the Rains by Dina Jeffries. And again, it's a historical piece and it's set in India, so I want to see what that one's like. It's got a lot of good ratings. Another one I saw while I was at the bookshop the other day, it's called One Day in December, and that's by Josie Silver. That one was like a very cute cover, as you can see somewhere around here that I've popped it. And I also want to, I didn't read the back of it, the little blurb on it. I need to find out what it's called. I still don't know. And so I decided I wanted to get it based on the cover, and I've learned my lesson before. I said I'm not going to buy a book based on its cover, but here we go. I'm going to make the same mistake again, and that's fine. I can live with that, but I do want to see how it goes. And then finally is the last one is called A Woman on Fire, and that one is by Lisa Barr. So I think that one was supposed to be also very that's supposed to be a period piece, and it's supposed to be like thrilling and exciting, and it's got good reviews so far. Yeah. Whoa, I just read the Google review for it. An exuberant and propulsive thriller laced with art and history. Interesting. I'm about to find out some steamy things in that book, so let's see how I go. I will be probably getting my pay sometime next week, so I have to wait to get my haul then, but I have a feeling it's not just going to be these 4 books. I might overspend and get 1 more book. I also have a holiday coming up, so I don't want to overspend. Please, I have to hold myself accountable for these kinds of decisions. Last time I went to buy 2 books, I came back with 4 or 5. I can't do that again. I need money. Okay, that's my little ramble. Yes, so that's my TBR for the month of September, and I'm going to get into it as soon as I get my pay next week. And I'm excited to finish my book club book, which is obviously called Happily Never After. Let's go. Welcome to September. Oh, also I started my own Instagram page just for my this video thing as well. So I'm excited to, like, launch it. It's a lot of work, I realize, like putting up posts, and I don't know how I don't know how to kind of schedule posts and see like what the time schedules of how you're supposed to. I know you're supposed to post it like 2 times or 3 times a day, or maybe, or like 2 times a day, and then very like regularly. So I'll get adjusted to it, but it's up. It's called Chapters with Cham, obviously. Yeah, exciting. Let's see how I go. Bye.